last step before reassembly is finish and disassembly. Removing the old bolster, taking a look at what we got on the front of the tractor yet, and then seeing how that new bolster is going to fit up, and then make whatever adjustments we need to get everything to fit properly.
Fucking A!
Let's take a quick look at what we got here. Everything's disassembled enough, bolsters apart. Did find a small hole in the radiator. I'll do a video up about fixing that. Anytime I've got something apart, I've got some hard to access spots open and available, just give it a good look over, make sure there isn't something else that's a problem so that you got to take it all apart again later. I'm gonna start dry fit the piece, check it out, hook it up, see how it sits and fits. The first problem I run into is that it doesn't sit all the way back and mate with the mounting surface. So at this point I'm marking up all the spots that are a problem, then I'll be removing some material to make sure that it sits a little better. These are the areas here that I'm running into a conflict between the pre-existing motor molding and the new bolster that needs to fit properly. For anyone that's never seen this kind of chicken before, they're fed almost primarily on likes from YouTube, so if you want me to be able to feed my chickens well, hit that like button. The bolster I purchased was from eBay, and it did state that it was to fit about 4 or 5 different versions of Massey Ferguson tractor, and in the process of fitting this one up I found that there's a bit of a gap, the upper portion where it meets the frame, and that was something that I ended up needing to fill. It does look like one loose like found its way underneath the tractor. The chicken won't go hungry tonight.
Chicken, get out. Get.
So the solution that I had settled on was a piece of flat stock. I ended up using sander to get it down to the exact gap that was in between the frame and the bolster. Drilled it up and fitted in between the two so that it filled the space properly and everything fitted up just right. If anyone else out there has a cat for shop foreman, they know how demanding they can be. Put a coating of sealant on each end of the radiator tubes just to kind of seal them up. There was a little pitting on both of the ends that they were fitting onto, so I figured I didn't want to waste any coolant that way. This radiator is a pretty good example of some things that you'll run into, that the removal is very quick, very easy, and then the reinstallation can be an awful lot of adjustment and moving and trying to get bolts back to go into where they lived for a very long time. Hammers, when used properly, can be used as an adjustment tool. If you remember from the first video, as I adjusted the front axle around and that kingpin that holds the front axle in place was moving everywhere. Now, properly bolted in with the new bolster, that kingpin doesn't move at all. The only way that that axle moves is front to back and kind of rotating side to side the way it's supposed to. So I'd say that to this point, the repair is going the way it's supposed to. And this is where I ran into some of my largest problems, was trying to get those two support arms that run from the middle of the tractor forward bolted onto the front axle. There was something a little different about the shape of the replacement axle. It was definitely much heavier, there's more meat to it, which I kind of liked considering this machine has a front end loader on it and it does kind of deal with a lot of stress. But the shape was just a little different, and I did have to fuss longer than I thought I was going to have to get those supports properly pinned in. So this will wrap us up. Once this brush guard's back on in the front, the machine's ready to roll out of the garage, ready to run. having not really shown taking the front end loader off, I'm not going to get too much into that. If there's seems to be any kind of interest in it, it's something I could make a video about later, but it's not really pertinent to the bolster replacement, so I'm going to leave that out of this for now. That's basically it. This is how you take a machine apart and hopefully put it back together successfully. So if you have one of these machines, or if you're just interested in seeing how to repair them, I have a couple other videos with some content on this machine specifically and a few other things that I do. So if you'd like, check it out.